So, Bruce, let's talk about another major moment in Raw history. After Shawn lost his smile in February, just 1 month later, Bret is going to lose his cool and push down Mr. McMahon. He had just lost a salad steel cage match to Psycho Sid when The Undertaker is going to shut the cage door on Bret. That allows Sid to climb over the top to the floor and feeling like he'd been screwed. And now despondent Bret Hart stays in the ring, pacing as a crew dismantling the cage around him. And then Vince McMahon gets up from the commentary desk, comes to interview Bret about his frustration. And Bret just lets it rip, man. Frustration isn't the goddamn word for it. Bret snaps and pushes Vince on the canvas, and we're seeing the seeds of a whole new Bret Hart here. Something Monday Night Raw listeners or viewers had never seen at that point. A bad guy, Bret? My goodness.
And I don't even think that Bret saw it as a bad guy. I think Bret figured that every audience member saw things through his eyes. Where Bret thought he was screwed and where Bret thought that, he had been wronged, that every member of the audience was feeling that same thing through him. So they could understand that frustration, and he brought them with him on that ride of all of this major frustration to just do the unthinkable, put his hands on a commentator, the lead commentator, the play-by-play guy of Monday Night Raw, who's just in there trying to get a word. To those that knew the other side, that Vince McMahon was also the owner of the company, it was like a ooh moment. Either way, it was an ooh moment. But it was trying to take people on that ride that this was it, man. This was enough. And that, Bret was unhappy, and Bret was ready to just take it out on anybody that was in front of him and show more attitude. I think that that's what we were looking for. And that's something that Bret gave us was the attitude in this particular situation.
It's fun to see that we're going to see a transition for Vince in 1997 too. Not only is Monday Night Raw changing and maybe the top of the card, but after being pushed down here, I mean, at this point, he's really just been acknowledged as being an announcer. But he gets shoved down here, and then, of course, we know later that year it really comes to a head with Bret and Vince, and the interviews after is what leads to the creation of Mr. McMahon, the character. It's funny to see that Bret was a part of those bookends, if you will.
Yeah, I think that, by Bret, Bret wanted to do something with Vince from the standpoint of the play-by-play guy. And again, also from the standpoint of, to those who knew, they knew that he was also the owner of the company. The majority of the audience watching thought of Vince as a play-by-play guy.
Right.
So we didn't do that, man. We didn't touch our play-by-play guys, especially the main one. So I think that was kind of innovative. And it was good thinking on Bret's part, because it was Bret's idea to do that. And it was Bret's idea to, let me do some of these things that are taboo that we just don't do. And I thought Bret did them well, and it came off as real, came off in the moment, that passion and frustration in the moment. Bret could always give that to you.